Hi, this is Gary Kayye. We are at CEDIA 2016, day one. We're in the Epson booth. I've got Rodrigo Catalan, who is the Senior Product Manager for the Home Entertainment Group. Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm very good, Gary, how are you?
Good. You've had a smile on your face the whole time we've been standing here prepping for this interview. And you've got some big launches here. One's upstairs, one's downstairs. But the one upstairs, let's talk about that first. The Pro Cinema 6040, right? I get that right?
That's right.
That is a totally new product. 2500 ANSI lumens, HDR, all in a home theater package. Tell us about it.
That's right. So the big innovation here is 4Ke with HDR for $4,000. And the proof is in the pudding. So when you go up and you see the image, hopefully you can see the demo, what you'll see is the brightness that the 2500 lumens provides, but the HDR also gives you that dynamic contrast. And then when you couple it with the 4Ke technology, which is 4 million pixels on the screen, you've got the resolution, you've got the color, and you've got the contrast, which are the three most important factors in building the perfect image quality.
Yeah, in fact, the contrast ratio is like 1,000,000 to 1. I mean, it's
1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah,
exactly.
And HDR is a big buzzword here at the show. So it's a big deal that you have that integrated in that projector, because not only is that helping to increase the contrast ratio, but it means that you can process all the HDR content.
That's right. So today what you'll find is more and more studios are releasing DVDs with 4K UHD. Yeah. And so now we can play those and with all the fidelity that the studios intended. So you get great colors, the blacks are very strong, and when you look at the image, you'll be really hard pressed to say to yourself, gosh, they really should fix this, or they really should fix that. You're kind of going, I think this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, and you said $4,000, which means that you've now set a new price bar that everyone else is going to have to shoot for, because nobody has a 4K HDR projector with that level of brightness and contrast ratio for that price, not even close.
That's right, and that's kind of what we that's our whole business, is really to bring more better technology to more people, right? And so instead of leaving these technologies at price points where they're kind of inaccessible to most folks, we like to bring them down into the reach where pretty much anybody can afford it.
And you have a couple of other versions of this product. You have one that's slightly not quite as bright, 2300 ANSI lumens. What is the price range of that one? Also HDR. What is the model number and price of that?
So that's the Pro Cinema 4040. Yes, and that's about $1,500 less. Okay. It's got less brightness and less lumens.
And less contrast ratio. You go down in contrast ratio because of the brightness issue, right?
Correct, but you're still getting the 4Ke. Yep. And so you're still really getting a great picture. So we wanted to make, you can still get into the 4Ke for about $1,000 less, but we wanted to make sure that we still had the 6040 there for the optimal experience.
Yeah, and these are lamp-based projectors. You also launched a sort of follow-up to your 10,000 last year launch projector. The LS 10,000 is now the LS 10,500. Tell them what the difference is. That's a laser-based 4Ke projector with HDR, but what's the difference between the 500 versus what you had last year?
So they're very similar. So the price points are the same, so $79.99 for both models. The LS 10,500 is a replacement, and what we've done is we've integrated a new chip that enables us to process the signal plus firmware, of course, and that is going to give you better contrast than before. Now what it also does is it leverages the strengths of the previous LS 10,000, which was laser, which gives you great color gamut, and we had we didn't have transmissive panels, we have reflective panels, which is the top of the line in terms of the LCD. It gives you total black. And so total black, wider color gamut, and 4Ke and HDR is what we're showing down at the bottom here in the LS 10,500.
And that's behind us, and that is a 4Ke projector, and it's 20,000 hours, is that right? Is it 20,000 hour
yeah, it's
life?
30,000 hour.
30,000.
Yeah, because it's laser, which decays much more slowly than a lamp, and so you've got better. Your calibration will last longer, essentially. So fall off is way later in the life of the lamp.
So you're in an interesting position. Epson's in a really interesting position because you own your own technology. Like, you're not having to buy it from somebody else. You own your own stuff, and you're all LCD. Right, you're all LCD, and you're competing with other technologies out there, both flat panel. There's a varying number of flat panel technologies, and then there's also other projection technologies, right? Obviously. Right. First off, you launched yourself into the home market about 2 years ago. How has that gone, and where are you seeing the acceptance rate when competing technologies come about with 3LCD?
Well, okay, so on the technology basis, the benefit of the 3 LCD chip, which is what we design and own, and we've got the patents for all that, is greater brightness. Okay, so obviously whenever you see two pictures, the brighter one usually wins regardless of the other variables, right? So we can bring brightness not only in white, but in color, which is critical, right? So you need colors. So we can take that and we can put it in our home theater. We can also leverage it in some of our business projectors, which is what's actually showing on the outside here. The LS10000 is obviously in the booth. We wouldn't show it on the outside because it doesn't have the brightness. But here we've got some of our 3 LCD chips in this laser projector up here, which is designed for business, but it's 12,000 lumens, and that's why you can see this awesome picture projected in 4K using our 4K technology right on the screen outside the door here. So that would be one of the key things. In terms of competing against other display technologies like flat panel, the main difference is the size of the screen, right? So that's nothing new. But the difference is that today with our newer projectors, you're getting brighter, better contrast, more resolution at that larger size screen size.
And because you're now using, you have an option for reflective LCD technology in some of your product, then you're now going to get the better black level that's more competitive to what you're seeing from the newer technologies in flat panel, but you're able to get it for a lot less price and a lot larger size. I think the largest OLED, for example, on the show floor is 77 inches, and it is 4 times the price.
Yeah, exactly right. So you can step up if you want, and that's great. But you still can't get, so inside here, when you see the demo, you'll see a 133-inch diagonal screen. So that's like a 10-foot wide screen. And the experience really just goes into a totally other realm than still watching a flat panel LCD or OLED.
So 2 years into entering yourselves into the home market, how are you doing?
It's going great. We've had, so our predecessor model to the one we're showing upstairs was the #1 SKU in NPD on a revenue basis, and that's kind of really all there is to go after.
Yeah, you can't get better than #1.
It's hard, but what we also want to do is we want to fill out our lineup and make sure we've got products available either higher end or lower end, and the breadth of product is super important for us. And we've got a roadmap that's built on our core 3 LCD technology that really can step up that key brightness factor pretty steadily for several years. It's not like we're going to hit some sort of limit. It's pretty much just as long as you can, any size lamp or laser you can pump through it, the LCD can handle it, and you can just drive brightness pretty much forever.
So you'll have linear growth continuing from that.
On brightness, absolutely, easily done.
So that gives a little hint into the future. Well, if you want to see all the products we've been talking about, and thanks for correcting me on the thing behind me because I did notice this is hanging over my head here, and it's 12,000 ANSI lumens. Please go to the video search window and type in the word Epson, E-P-S-O-N. Go to ravepubs.com/CEDIA2015. Of course, you can go to Epson.com and look up all these products. Rodrigo, thank you very much for your time.
Hey, Gary, anytime. Pleasure.
Best of luck to you the next 2 days. I don't know that you need it when you're already #1, but
thanks very much.
congratulations, and thanks for watching.